Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of game news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and such, usually I go about on Twitter X platform. And later today, I think we will manage another Midnight Suns episode. And just a quick reminder that I already have some completely gameplay series. And 1080p are the older ones before the 5-year break that I had in the gaming space, and then the 4K are the more recent ones. Sorry, but yeah. Other than that, let's go directly to the news. Got some stuff to cover here. I had to eliminate some news here that are not so important, or else the episode will get too big. But interesting enough, similarly, Unknown 9, I will refer to it in a minute, but yeah, Unknown 9 is not selling nothing. It's selling nothing, sorry. But yeah, it's one of those recent things on the gaming industry. We got some leaks, more than it's not rumor. It's a leak from inside information, marketing stuff there from AMD regarding the 9800X3D, and supposedly we got already now a more completed CPU. How do I say it? CPU spec stuff here. And supposedly it's going to have around, at least is how they're going to sell in terms of performance, around 8% uplift in gaming performance compared to the 7800 XUD. But then again, it will depend on the case, and this is again compared with their own configuration of the computer itself, and we don't know what kind of GPU they are using there to see if there is like a huge or not bottleneck on the CPU. All that stuff that usually first-party information tends to be a little bit biased. But yeah, supposedly it's going to average around 8% in terms of uplift compared to the 78X3D, and it's going to, in terms of multi-threaded I don't know, production application is going to have an uplift in terms of around 15%. Again, this might be going in line with Zen 5 because of the way they went about it in terms of changing the architecture there. It's more focused on IPC increases, and that usually tends to reflect better in productivity workloads than in gaming itself. We saw that with the 9700X. And the other Zen 5 CPU line compared against the 7000 or the Zen 4 CPU line there. But then again, we'll have to wait for the independent reviewers. And again, at the end, it's a matter of price, basically. If it comes at a very almost kind of the same price, the 7800 X3 or close enough to justify the upgrade. I don't think it's going to justify, because at this endpoint, even with the latest CPU, you will not be getting a lot of noticing in terms of uplift, in terms of performance, because unless you are in competitive shooter stuff there, but you already are on the 300 frames per second in some games, or 500 depending on the game. So I don't think 30 frames per second extra in the roundhouse of 300 frames, you will have any noticeable uplift in terms of performance. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see what if it is a worthy successor to the 7800 X3D. But then again, I think it's going to be better than the competition of Intel. The new Intel CPUs, I don't think they in very extreme cases might trade blows with the 7800 X3D if they can. But other than that, if this one is a little bit better, Intel doesn't have a shot here. But yeah, this is what we got. It's more leak than rumor, because this supposedly it's internal documents. So we're going to see in the next couple of weeks more stuff coming out for sure regarding this the X3D variant of the Zen 5 lineup there. In terms of gaming, I bring this one to show that again, I think what it's going to serve as a lifeline for Bandai Namco's forecast in terms of earnings is going to be Elden Ring and DLC Shadow of the Earth 3, because again, Bandai Namco launched the much awaited modern audience, Unknown 9 Awakening. Pre-orders are a shit show. The copies that most of the copies of people that are playing at this moment in time are from a bundle from AMD GPUs or CPU. I don't recall correctly which one, but they came with a bundle again, and that bundle also came with Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, I think. And yeah, the an online, I think, is hovering around 200 online players and as a peak of not even 300 players. Again, it was an investment of some $1 million, I suppose. And even Bandai Namco, I think they are canceling some projects. I think it's Bandai Namco. They are canceling some projects here, even though they have some miss and hits. Again, the hits that we've been seeing lately, again, it's the DLC from Elden Ring and the Dragon Ball Z. I think it's part of Bandai Namco, and a couple of games that are already in very noble IPs, and the games are doing pretty well there. But then we got projects like Unknown 9 Awakening, I think it's called, that is not delivering any kind of numbers that they were expecting. Again, taking into account they are, I don't know, trying to market this to modern audiences. Again, I'm not sure if it works as they think it works. But yeah, basically it's Elden Ring and I think a couple of other games that are basically making the Bandai Namco hanging on there. Even though I think after this most recent game, the stock went down 7% or something like that. Again, this doesn't bode well. And I will maintain my thoughts and opinion that yeah, I think we are needing in a big purge, to a certain degree. Again, without trying to make huge comparisons here, the same way that when Elon Musk took on Twitter. Uh, at this moment in time, I think that the latest numbers is basically fired 80% of the personnel that was working on Twitter X, and it still functions. You might have your own opinions how it functions, but it is a social media platform that functions well, at least at the same way before the taking over, in the same way in terms of has a social media, so it doesn't have crashes on all that jazz. Again, it has some issues like any kind of social media platform, but as a company itself, it works with only 20% of the previous workers that he had. So I think we need kind of trim of the bush, cut of the fat, whatever metaphor you want to use, and trimming down a lot of this mainly peoples that are they are not again, they don't have the passion for gaming. They just want to grift, to better lack of terms, and I think we need some purge in that sense of trying to put the gaming industry in a better position to flourish. So we need to trim the bushes, remove the weeds, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, basically at this moment for Bandai Namco, and I think to a certain degree, I think From Software. Not sure if it was Miyazaki decision, all that jazz, or even if it was the Katakawa Corporation, which is the parent company of From Software, that they might have seen the portfolio of Bandai Namco and saw the writing on the wall, and that's why they basically, From Software, in terms of Elden Ring, they bought out everything from Bandai Namco. But then again, I will assume with the publishing deal for the game, it's still existing for Shadow of the Earth 3, but I think everything afterwards that it comes about as Elden Ring, like Elden Ring 2, or I think even like any kind of transmedia that they are willing to go do about here, I think From Software has the hands now with a firm grasp on this IP, which is good news, because if Bandai Namco, I don't know, because it's a very good IP, Elden Ring, it makes a lot of money, at least I will assume 25 million copies sold on the base game, and let's say 10 million copies on the DLC. it's a lot of money coming from that. And I think they did the best that they could from software to protect the IP from any kind of assault for modern audiences. You can see that the disintegration that can happen in an IP in the hands of these modern audience people there. But yeah, basically Elden Ring, I think it was a Lifeline and a couple of other games that were launched in the meantime from Bandai Namco of well-known IPs like Dragon Ball and the such. I think they are the Lifeline at this moment in time for Bandai Namco, and they need to revert gears there and start put their act together. Then we got the day before, guys, Fntastic or whatever they are like to be called there. Again, Kickstarter failed as expected, and hopefully they will not be able to do any more kind of this kind of shenanigans the way they did with the day before, which was a huge scam. I covered this last year. Last year? Yeah, I think this. It was almost a year ago with the day before when I started seeing more information coming out of it, and basically I called it, and with me, a lot of people called it basically a scam. And again, with this Kickstarter, they just want money because they basically canceled the game. So they are not working on the Kickstarter game that they were going about, which is Escape Factory. But right after they canceled this, they now are asking more money for another project again, which is kind of a action horror prop up similar to Prop Night. Again, I never played any kind of these games, and I think the game is called Items. Again, it's so bland. But yeah, they are going to ask more money regarding this game, so pay attention to this kind of schemes, especially from this kind well-known scammers, which are fantastic. Again, they have people working for free. They call it voluntary work. Again, I don't know what. Again, I don't know how people fall for this kind of shit. You don't work for free, especially if you are a good, well knowledgeable person that knows the industry that you are working on. You never work for free or pro bono in that sense, unless it's for yourself. Again, another fail, and hopefully they will never be able to launch or work in any kind of capacity in the gaming industry because scammers, again, they should be, lack of better terms, banned from this kind of things. Got also some news and updates for Forever's, guys. I've been following up a little bit. Very interesting setup of a game, kind of survival here. You explore several biomes. The setup is it's a miasma that I don't know, a natural disaster, something like that. A miasma that covered the entire surface of a planet, and only like sky rises and high buildings are a safe place here. And basically you going around with a floating base camp kind of a thing, exploring the high rises and try to discover and try to advance the story and discover items for you to survive and resources and all that jazz, with also with the crafting. And they were supposed to launch the full version this year, but I think they are delaying it. Again, they've been very transparent with they do, which it's something that it's very rare to see. Usually, I usually give the advice of not going for early access games, because again, the fact that the game is in early access, they are not mandated by any rule or anything like that to launch the final version or version 1.0 of the game itself. They don't need to do a full release, so I always advise some caution. But from time to time, we see cases like this. Forever Skies, they seem to be on the right track so far. The developers have decided that full launch needs to be delayed to early 2025. The reason behind the delay: start doing some new designs, implementing substantial changes to the many existing systems. Therefore, the delay was needed to make sure that the game is best it can be upon full release. Again, they've been launching content throughout this year since I started checking this game. So I think they are doing so far a pretty good job. Let's see how the full release game is going to be. They also are going to implement a highly requested 4-player co-op. It will be releasing still in early access this year. There is no definitive date, but again, gotta 3 months or so until the end of the year, so they might come up there. There is no given date. Yep, the game at this moment is 40% discount starting day. So if you want to really take a chance here, might be a good not investment, but again, it's an early access. Again, I don't recommend overall any kind of paying for early access, but it's one of the ways that some studios have for them to maintain some resources, financial resources coming while they develop the game. Got the most well-known success of this, Baldur's Gate 3. They were in early access for I think a year or a couple of years, and they were getting that feedback and improving the game with that. I think it might be a good exchange of value for value, but again, I will leave it up to you. And one interesting thing is initially they were having or working on a procedural generation kind of system to place locations on the map, and now they are doing away with that and feature kind of, I don't know, they're creating groups of biomes that will spawn specific locations with them or within them. Sorry. Again, I think it's because they didn't manage to get a good procedural generation system that wasn't with enough. They say it. It might seem an odd choice as procedural generation can provide a sense of replayability and variety, but developers feel that it can sometimes lead to disjointed landscapes and progression. Again, that's why they basically get rid of this procedural generation system. But yeah, hopefully it seems that it's going to be a pretty good game. You can play solo co-op supposedly. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for the full release and wait for some reviews to see if it is a good game or not. Then we got yesterday, I think, another Monster Hunter Wilds. I think showcase or something like that, because they launched a 3-minute trailer. The trailer is here at the end of the article there. But yeah, they took this opportunity to announce an open beta from October 28th to 30 for PlayStation Plus members, and then October 31 to November 3rd for everybody else, including PC and every other console. The last trailer, which is around 3 minutes, is the Black Flame. Again, I'm not very in with the lore of Monster Hunter, but I'm very curious of probably this game going to be my entry point on the franchise. So I'm trying to keep tabs on this game the best I can. I think one of the best persons to follow up on Monster Hunter all things is Rurikan. I will leave his channel link after the link of this article here. It's the one that that I've been following up, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's very excited for this game, which is always good to see. Again, this beta test will have cross-play supported between all platforms, and supposedly participants will also receive a special bonus pendant to decorate their weapons or sacred mount alongside an helpful item pack in the full release. Again, I think this is the thingy here. The open beta test will include 3 separate experiences. So the complete character creation tool with character creation data that will be transferable to the full game, which is always good to see upon release. A story trial, and the free roaming Doshaguma hunt. Again, in the story trial, players can experience the opening cutscene of the game along with basic tutorials while hunting a Chattacabra, while in the Doshaguma hunt, players can pursue the alpha of a Doshaguma pack or explore the Windward Plains, which is good. I think it's the opening area of the game, so I think it's good to see that we can at least have. I think this beta will have good. Will give a good feeling of what the game should be. But yeah, other than that, they were going to launch a dedicated controller and a PS5 stuff there. Whatever, I'm a PC player, but it's good to see that I think all the progress can be transferable. Not only the character creation stuff there can be transferable to the full release of the game. But yeah, it's good to see that at least they are going to. People were expecting an open beta or something like that a little bit later, probably. But yeah, hopefully this open beta then can open up for a demo, so you can have a demo and people can try out and don't be stuck on these dates here. But yeah, it's always good news to see an open beta, so can people can get their own input, and I think it serves for them to test the servers, especially in crossplay. I think they will trying to do first on PS5, see how it goes. If everything goes very well, they will go immediately for the crossplay testing there between different consoles and PC platform. I think it's going to test most of it regarding this, but yeah. And then lastly, we got No Man's Sky keeps pushing out new content. This time we got the Cursed Expedition. I think it's kind of a mission, story mission kind of a thing there. And it's now available. Again, I think it's Halloween themed expedition, and it comes up with the version 5.2 of the game. So got a lot of stuff there also. And again, the Expedition 16, The Cursed, where players will fight to keep a grip on reality while haunted by visions and voices from another dimension, basically. I think there is no hyperdrive technology, meaning the interstellar travel can only be placed via an ancient portal network. Again, I don't know how that will work. I never played the game, so I don't know. But yeah, then we got here patch notes. Again, everything here, and you got a more detailed thing of what the expedition rewards will be. Again, I didn't read this all through, but again, they've been putting out pretty good content. Got a trailer here for the expedition itself. I think you should crash land somewhere, and then you have to, I don't know, get around stuff and try to survive. But yeah, again, these guys have been pulling out pretty good content since the launch of this game, and all this content is for free, so you only pay for the base game and get the extra content for free. Yeah, with that said, this is it for news. Going for some gaming deals, and we got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's 80% off. I did manage to claim this game on Epic Game Store a few months ago. I did highlight that when I was doing the gaming news program. But yeah, at this moment in time, 80% off. It seems a pretty good game, good reviews, good feedback. So I think it's a good deal here. We've got also the Plague Tale duology. You can complete the duology by buying one of these games, or you can buy both of them with the bundle here. The bundle is 65% off, and the game itself 80%, and then the sequel is 60%. Or again, you can buy the bundle. We got also Atomic Heart still on the deal here. We got the demo if you're not sure if this game is for you, sorry. And you got all the editions here around 60% off, which seems pretty good. And again, very positive reviews overall. So I think it might be a good game. Very Bioshocky in the way it plays, but yeah. We got also, again, No Man's Sky, 60% off this time. Again, you got a lot of content from this game here. So yeah, I think 20 something content drops that they already did. So again, and the latest one is the Cursed Expedition. We got also the Invincible, 40% off here, and then we got Armored Core Fires of Rubicon, so Armored Core 6, 40% off. Again, you don't see that much from software games in a deal, so yeah. And again, you can help out Bandai Namco with their price talks by buying the game. But yeah, it seems a very, very positive reviews, even though it's a kind of very niche mecha game. Again, very good game as usual from software. On GOG, we got The Evil Within to keep it in line with the kind of Halloween themed stuff there. 75% off on the first game and 80% off on the second one. Again, at this price point, I got the stamp of approval from me. I did the gameplay series for both games. If you're not sure if this game is for you, you can check out the first episode of each series to get a better sense of what this game, in terms of horror, if it is for you or not. Everything is on the main page of the channel. And then lastly, we got the Thaumaturge, 33% off. Again, kind of the paranormal detective here with some turn-based combat. again, it seems pretty good. It's got, I think, very positive feedback from Steam. And here, again, it's the same game, so I will assume around 3.8 out of 5, which is pretty good as an average. Again, from Fool's Theory and published by 11-bit studios. Usually they don't miss that much. And again, as a reminder, GOG doesn't have any DRM shenanigans. You just download the game files, install, and that's it. You don't need to open GOG to play the game. So it's one of those things that I really enjoy from GOG. And yeah, basically that's it for today. I will wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. This extra support is more in line for me to get around and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.